You're looking good. And here we are live. Welcome back to the Free to Fly online conference and fashion show. And tonight we have Maryam Webster, who is going to be sharing so much of what she knows about pricing, because when you're in business and you're a woman, it's so easy to take less than we deserve and to ask for less than we deserve. So this session will be all about pricing yourself right and how to do that in a way that feels authentic and wonderful for you, so you don't feel slimy taking the monies. Right, Maryam?
Exactly.
And we also have with us my beautiful, beautiful co-host, Miss Sasha, is ringing in from BC, and she will be live tweeting throughout the broadcast and playing with the social media so we can get lots of viewers in here to hear Maryam and the wisdom that she is going to be sharing with us. So what I am going to do right now is play the little winkly and try and get you the proper presenter status.
And are we recording?
We are recording. We are live as we speak. We're doing this all live and on the air. And now you should have the ability to, so if you go up into your little corner, that little green thing there, that'll get you into the screen share. And then we'll see your screen instead of your beautiful face. Okay. So just while we're doing that, before we get started, do you actually have an intro in there, Maryam? Because I didn't really introduce you very well and who you are and what it is that you do.
It says I am presenting to everybody. Awesome. Awesome. I'm still not seeing where I can share my screen.
It should be a little green arrow on the left-hand side of your screen, 2 down.
Left hand. Okay, got it. Not too savvy with the YouTube Hangouts yet. But yeah, okay, we'll go there in a second. So I just want to give you a little intro to me. I'm Maryam Webster, and it's spelled M-A-R-Y-A-M. And if I was really savvy, I would have my lower third enabled, but I don't. So what I would like to just share with you, because this is for the Freebird Project, I would like to share that I was myself a victim of domestic violence. Whoops,
You're still there.
A victim of domestic violence in one of my marriages, and also as a college student. And I was raped in college, not once but twice. And when I reported it, the police said, "Oh, it's just some college hijinks, and nothing, no big deal, and you need to get over it." The report was taken, but like many of you, I was not believed. So just know that, even though that is so damaging and whatever you have been through is so freaky damaging, you can come out of it. Now here's something else. And this is more of a, if I can do this, so can you thing. When I was married to my first husband, he was British and we lived in England. And I was hit by a drunk driver one day as I was out going to work, and it broke my back. I spent 4 years as a paraplegic in bed. I was told by doctors I would never walk again. And the only answer to something like that is your middle finger. Or if you're in the UK, both of your 2 fingers backwards. And basically, that's the attitude that it takes to get up out of that situation. Whether you're in a domestic violence situation right now and you're feeling so beaten down you cannot put one foot in front of the other, or if you have some kind of physical disability like that, you are not going to put me in a corner. You're not going to put baby in a corner. That's what it takes to get up and get out. Do it. You can. If I could with a broken back and not walking, so can you. Now, it took me 9 years to get it back. I was a psychologist for 30 years. And so one of the things that I learned were called energy therapies. Now, you may have seen some of these recently, called tapping or emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping on acupuncture points like that. That's one of the more well-known ones. I also developed something called the ethos method for when tapping won't do, you're in public, you want to do it invisibly, and it works no matter what language you know. If you're literate or not literate, it works for the goat herd as well as the CEO. So you're going to get that if you would like to receive the slides afterward from the presentation I'm going to give. We'll give a URL, and that will all come to you. It's all free. And that's my really my gift to the world is the ethos method. It helps you get past that stuff that happened. So we're going to be talking about mindset today, and we're going to be talking about the intricacies of pricing. And I want to tell you why I wanted to do this. Patricia asked me to speak, and I said one of the things that I know got me up and out of my situation was being absolutely passionate about getting help to a particular sector of the world. And in my case, it's women over 40 who are sick and tired of corporate, and they're coming out and starting their own businesses based on this passionate need they have to help others in some area, or help the environment, or get kids fed and clothed, or clean up the plastic in the ocean, that kind of thing. So that we call that being mission driven. So when you're getting up and out and you're trying to get back on your feet, having your own business is one of the best ways to do that. If you're frankly in this age bracket of women of a certain age, it's very tough to get a job past 40, about 45. I live in Silicon Valley. It's simply not possible. I looked everywhere when I came out of my second marriage. I looked everywhere. I interviewed for 5 years, and it was an age thing for sure. So one of the things that is the hardest for now, we have let's go to the presentation.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a little presentation, and you're going to get the slides, so you do not have to take notes for this. I want to emphasize, just relax into this and let your mind dream. We're going to be dreaming for a little bit. We're going to be wandering in the field of possibility. And just know that, seriously, no matter where you come from, what your background is, what your belief system is, there are limitless possibilities to you other than where you came from and what's going on right now. So let yourself be open to this one. And if you have an existing business, or if you're wanting to spin a second life, then this is going to be particularly of interest in how you price yourself to get the people in your tribe, those people who are uniquely your people. This is how you do it. So we're going to go to the presentation right now. And I'm going to, excuse me. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of windows. I have a lot of windows open here. Welcome to my...
Well, there we go.
All right. There we are. So let's go to the center. Yay. Okay. So this is pricing and alignment. And I wanted to just kind of ground you in where this fits in. This is from my Align and Ascend business program. This is for women, whether you have an existing business that you want to transform, or you want to spin a second life, like many of you are doing, and use your skills and talents that you've gained so far to do that. This program is for you, and it's a module. In fact, it's module 6. And I just wanted to go through briefly where this is to ground you. So first of all, we do aligned mindset. And this, again, these are my ninja skills from 30 years of being a therapist and using these power tools to get, if I can get myself walking again with this kind of tool, you can do anything and sweep away all the negative charge. We're going to do some of that today. In fact, we're going to use a little of my ethos method today. And then module 2 is you find your aligned tribe. These are the people who need what you have and they pay for it willingly. Number 3 is your sacred power archetype. And if you hit that link at the end, you're also going to get the assessment that goes with the Sacred Power archetype that will tell you how to uniquely brand and position your business so it draws only the right people in. This is something that costs thousands to take, but I licensed it so I can give it away free so you can get a good head start, a good running start. That's not all there is to this, but at least you're going to know where you fit. And 4, systematize your brilliance. You create programs, structure your business for profit. And then number 6, what we're going to do today is pricing and alignment. This is due to time space, this is only a fraction of what that module is all about. But you're going to charge what you're worth. You're going to be able to determine what you're worth and get it in a way that resonates with your tribe and with you. And then you'll create a package out of all of that stuff that you do so well and position your business as a change the world needs. This is my thing, is I want to work with world changers. The Dalai Lama said at the 2009 Vancouver Peace Conference, Western women will change the world, will save the world. And he was talking about that are helping clean it up and heal and help and heal. So what is alignment? Just want to visit that term because it's a term you may or may not have heard of. And excuse me, I'm sipping water, and everyone that knows me knows when I teach, I'm going to say whenever I'm thirsty, that means someone in the audience is thirsty, and you do not learn if your neurons cannot flow the information smoothly, and if you don't have enough water on board, they can't. So everybody take a sip. The pause that refreshes. Awesome. So pricing resonance or alignment is, first of all, you decide what you want to make per year and the hours you decide that you want to work. Now, that's not going to be what it, if you want to work 4 hours a week, you can't spin a business that works at the outset with 4 hours a week. That 4-hour business week, the Tim Ferriss thing, it's not real. He had a lot of help, okay? Just know that. It's kind of a fantasy. But you can get there. You eventually can get there. So what's reasonable for right now? Plus the solution that you have, that you provide to that hot problem your tribe has. And do that in a way that makes you feel good about what you're selling and the price that you're getting.
And we seem to be having a problem here. We're not seeing your screen. I'm seeing just a black one.
Okay.
So
let's see.
What I'm going to suggest is hitting that again.
Stop sharing. I'll do the stop sharing. And then
perhaps start again.
Sure. It may be that the thing has gone into slide share mode, and I was doing a slide presentation. So hang on just 1 minute. I'm just going to share my entire screen. And oh my gosh, no, that is replicating horribly.
That's going to be too much.
No. Golly. Okay. Let me know if you can see this, Patricia.
You bet. There we go. It looks like we've got it on now. Now we're on track again.
Fantastic. Thanks for letting me know.
Perfect.
So we're going to go to the Business BS Detector tool. This is your generic BS detector. We all have it. This lady here is showing us your heart and your stomach are your guide to determining alignment. It's your true false, yes, no. Whether should I do this? Should I not do this? Decision maker time. This you always carry around with you. It's so cool. And I just want to explain how to use it. Hand on heart, hand on stomach. You know when you have been lied to. You feel icky in your intestines, in your stomach. It feels, or when you are in a deal that's going south and you know you're going to get screwed, it's that feeling in your gut. Okay? That is a no, a false, or a don't go there. Now, on the other end of the fence, the heart, when you look at someone you love, and if you don't have anybody right now, you can picture then looking at a baby or a cute little puppy or kitten, something that makes you go, "Aw, isn't it sweet?" You get that feeling in your heart. It's like a happy, bouncy, light feeling. So something that's wrong or false feels heavy and icky and oily and nasty. Something that is true or good for you feels light and bouncy and cheerful in your heart. So you have these two. So I'm going to ask you to go to them in a moment. And then the third piece of resonant alignment is the price is reasonable for the client's needs. In other words, you're not going to charge someone on a fixed income $40,000 for a 90-day program. It just isn't going to work. And with that, we go to the working parts of pricing alignment. Are you still seeing me, Patricia? I just want to check in.
I am.
Awesome.
We are getting, yep, it's moving to the next slide perfectly.
Sweet. So your mindset is composed of your inner value. And Patricia mentioned this earlier. I think it's so important that often women undercharge. We overgive and undercharge, and we think we have to pile on so much, so many bonuses and so much value. And the fact is you don't. You overwhelm your people that they're looking for a simple solution. People today, more and more, they're looking for simpler and simpler. So think not in terms of how much can I pile on, but how can I take away and still provide the value they want. This is also going to be more honoring of you and your time. If you're a service provider, I tend to work with service providers like therapists and coaches and social workers and body workers and hypnotherapists and everybody of that nature. And we often add way too much. The client ends up overwhelmed. They don't get the result they wanted, and they end up leaving unhappy, or even worse, asking for their money back. So you want to own your inner value so much that you know that this solution you're providing is really all they need, and you can just sit back, relax, and provide it. You don't need to provide so much on the outer end. It just needs to be what the client needs right now, plus a little bit extra to sweeten the pot. And I do mean a little bit extra. Like, you're not providing a full course meal, you're providing a piece of cake that they didn't expect to get at the end of that meal. Okay? So moving along, you want to look at your time. You want to take how many dollars or whatever your currency is, you need to be getting per year. Okay, if you need to get 100,000 a year, how many hours of the year do you want to work? So you divide, like say you want to work, and then you would divide that down into days and weeks. I don't want to work any more than a normal work week is 40 hours. If you're working for yourself, you might find yourself working 60 to 80 hours. Am I right, Patricia?
Sometimes.
That happens. But your ideal is what we're going for here. I want to work 30 hours a week. And then I'm going to work down to that 4-hour work week. I still don't believe that, to be quite honest.
I don't think that I would personally be happy with that 4-hour work week. It just sounds a little bit not enough work for me.
Right, and we're doing the work that we're doing. This is the other thing is, I'm working with mission-driven entrepreneurs. They're doing it because they have a passion. You and I both have this passion to help these people that we are uniquely called. We're born for this. You were born
Absolutely.
to help a certain portion of the world. And because you're going with that rather than what someone else says you should, quote unquote, should be doing, you're going to naturally attract those people. So you want to get how much do I need to survive per year? And that figure goes into what's your burn rate per month. Your burn rate is how much you pay for your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, your food, your clothing, whatever you spend on reliably per month. And then add a little on top of that, because we want to be topping up our savings accounts. We want to put into that retirement fund the IRS, the IRA. The individual retirement account.
Well, the IRS does get their share down there too.
And then they get their share, so you have to actually add that onto. So there's a lot that goes into it, but know your burn rate. And then how many hours do you realistically think that you want to work a year? And you can work a year. Sometimes if you have a physical disability like I did, it's just not going to be possible to do a 40-hour week. It's just not there. So you have to adjust things going out. So you divide one into the other, and then you get your hours per week that you're going to be working, okay? And for that hours per week that I know I can work, what am I going to have to charge a client times how many clients do I need to have to get this sum? Your client mix, we're not going into that here, but your client mix might end up being 10, say, private clients, one-on-one at a very high rate. If you private services, one-on-one, you're charging very high rates, to groups of people that you can charge a much lower rate because it's a group, and if 30 people get an hour of your time, then you can afford to charge a couple of $100 because you're going to get that, whatever that hour of your time ends up being worth in your calculation. So then the last piece of the aligned pricing paradigm is the client benefits. First of all, you've found your tribe, that those people that you're so hot to help, you just know you've got what they need, and they have a hot problem. So a hot problem, for instance, one of my clients helps prepare students to take the SATs. And nowadays, like when I was doing this, you just kind of went in and took it based on your native knowledge. And you either got into college or you didn't. Nowadays, you've got these whole preparation, engines in industry around this. And she's a specific coach for SATs. If you have not made the grade that you want, then you hire her and you get the number that you need to get out the other end. Another client is working with getting in parts of Kenya that kids have to walk, and these are little girls usually, 20 miles to get water every day. She's getting wells into these villages so they don't have to walk, and they're molested on the way, and it's a terrible situation for these kids. And so she's getting wells put in. So that's a hot problem that these ladies have a solution to. There's a hot problem you're going to have a solution to as well. So this next slide is the price setting and alignment paradigm. And this one module is comprised of 7 steps. So the mindset that we taught, knowing your true value, we did a little bit of that just now. Know the cost of your true value, we did a little bit of that. And plug and play the easy pricing game. Not going to have time for that. Anchor, multiply, and embody. And that is just basically stepping into that price, seeing how it feels, and rooting it down to the bottom of your soul. And I'm giving you a little later, you'll get this slide, but I'll give it to you now. Practice saying that price. If you're not used to charging a lot and you say, this program or this thing that you want from me is $4,000. And then just practice stopping. You want to be able to say that like you're saying to somebody, pass the gravy. It's like no big deal, no emotional tone. And then get yourself to the point where you can say that. If that's what you end up with as your price that you've got to ask for to get what you need a year, you need to be as comfortable with that as, brushing your teeth in the morning. It's like no big deal. That's what we do there. And then step 6 is value multipliers, guarantees, and social proof. So how do you create social proof in your marketing that lets people know you're worth that? And then you debut your new pricing to your existing clients and to new clients, and how to go about that. So there's a whole lot that goes into this. We only have time for a little bit of it, so let's go on. So we're going to delve into your aligned pricing mindset, your aligned pricing mindset. And I want to just take you on a little journey. We are going to visit several different zones in your, that basically make up all of the different places your aligned pricing has to resonate and has to be okay with in order for you to actually get it. So nobody ever really teases this out into, we're going to 7 different places. And it's going to be very interesting. I think you'll find it's quite interesting what you find here. So this is the point at which you may want to grab a pen and paper, because I would like you to be stepping out onto the floor where you are. And if you can't physically do so, then get an idea of like just a line in front of you mentally, and you're taking the first step and thinking about something and then writing, and then the second step and you're going to be thinking about something there and then writing. But jot down just a note or two on what you get. And I'm going to give you time to do this. So this line is your path that is empowering your ability to charge what you're worth. And the first step you're going to take on this path, is the realm, into the realm of spirit. And you're going to ask, without even knowing what the price is yet, when I charge what I am worth, and this is going to be something that you get to do, you get to be a different kind of person, or you get to have, and maybe all three of those. Now step forward if you haven't already and get the answer. When I charge what I'm worth, I fill in the blank. I'm going to give you an example, since this may be a little foreign for some folks. When I charge what I'm worth, I am honoring my divine mission. I am honoring those people I am here to help. When I charge what I am worth, women get free from domestic violence. When I charge what I am worth, I know that the world gets helped, because women are creating joyful businesses that do just that. If I don't charge what I'm worth, none of that gets to happen. So this speaks to a deep place in you, a deep place. And in the interest of time, we're going to go on, but just jot down a few words of what you've gotten in the realm of spirit. And this is the highest level at which you need to be in alignment. And you need to know the message from spirit. Like, if you don't charge what you're worth, nobody gets out of those situations where they're being abused. They stay there and they suffer, and their families suffer. And my response to that, when I did this exercise for myself, is hell no. Hell no. We're doing this. I don't care what it takes. If you, in particular, if you're getting a price that is thousands above what you would ever think you could charge, you need to hear this message. And the message in all of these places. So stepping forward, we're going to find out what beliefs support you. So in the realm of beliefs, believe to charge what I'm worth. And just go ahead, 1, 2, 3, step right on in there. What would I have to believe? Perhaps believe about myself, believe about my ideal clients or customers. And you're welcome to have more than one belief. You could have 2 or 3. Start each one, when you're writing them down, with saying, I believe, and make sure they're stated in the positive. Like, I believe that people get amazing results working with me they cannot get elsewhere. I believe that my clients are absolutely on track to freedom after our session together. I believe my time is valuable and entirely worth what I ask for it. That kind of thing. And just take a moment, marinate in those beliefs, and always remember you're going to get the slides if you choose to hit the link afterwards, so you don't have to write down any of the stuff on the slides. And you can go back through them and run this exercise again if you didn't get it the first time, or if we're going a little too fast. So we're just doing this in the interest of time. We're going to go on. Now that you know about your connection to spirit and the beliefs supporting you, I'm really curious to find out what you value about your fees. So on the count of 3, you're going to take a powerful step forward into the space of values. 1, 2, 3, and go. Step in. What do I value about my fees? Now that might be a single word, or it might be a statement, and always stated positively. So I value being seen as an authority in my field. I value being a great value to my clients. I value, what is that for you? I'll tell you one of mine that's kind of non-obvious. It may be the same for you, I don't know. But one of the things we know is when people get something for free, they tend to devalue it, and like it'll sit in a corner unused. If it's information, then they never act on it, that kind of thing. When you charge a fee that kind of hurts your audience just a little bit to pay for it, but it honors your time and honors the value that you give, I'll tell you what, they get into action like maniacs. Mm-hmm. And I value that about my services and my fees. Maybe the same for you. So find out what those are and jot a note down. It doesn't have to be the same. And we are going to go on. Whatever values those are. Just take a note. Being connected with spirit, having the peace that supports you. And we are going to take a step, 1, 2, 3, into the realm of freedom. Freedom, which means a lot to all of us here, clearly. Mm-hmm. Free to fly. So when you are free to fly and you have that freedom in your life because you are charging an appropriate, aligned, and resonant fee that works for you, works for your tribe, ask by valuing these things that you value. It makes me free to do what? I am free to. And I'll tell you one thing that I love to do with my clients is I am free to hold my clients as powerful so that they can pay. Paying the fee does not stress them. They are happy to do so because they get such great value. Particularly if people are struggling a little bit to pay the fee, that's a freedom. I am free to hold you powerful on everything that we do together, everything as a goal that you select. When I value my fees, I'm free, and this is just personal. You can go personal or business. I'm free to spend my time as I like. That's hugely important to me. So you might want to think into that realm as well. But do what works for you. I'll give you another one that I think is real important as an example. When I value all these things, I am free to create and keep my boundaries when delivering my services. In other words, there's nobody calling me at midnight. There's nobody demanding an instant reply to an email. There's nobody thinking that we can coach on Sunday afternoon, because I don't do that. Weekends are off the plate, as are Mondays and Fridays. I don't work those days.
So you only work 3 days a week?
I only do well, now this is the difference. I didn't say that. I only see clients 3 days a week.
Gotcha. That is, yeah,
I might choose to work on Friday, but I don't see clients on Friday.
Gotcha.
So knowing those things that it frees you up to do. Next piece is action, and I'm going to give you the beginning of the sentence, and you're going to find the answer by stepping forward on the count of 3. And the sentence is, the actions I will take when pricing my programs or products or services are 1, 2, 3, step forward. What are those things? What actions are you going to take? What powerful, generative actions will you take, knowing all of the things that you know now, from the spiritual grounding to your beliefs, your values, what it frees you to do? What actions? Here's an example. One action I'll take is a less is more approach when designing my offerings. I'll cut up to 50% of my program elements. These are things we've talked about before. Remember putting too much in?
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a lovely challenge action for you, or you may have others. They may be completely different. Right? Another little piece there. Take some quick notes. We're going to go on. We have the topic of boundaries. Boundaries. And I want you to, again, we're going to take 3, step forward, 1, 2, 3, and ask a real big question for all of us in Freebird. Who or what do I let go of for this to work? Sometimes it's stepping out of a relationship. Sometimes for a lot of my clients, it's leaving a corporate position to pursue their passion. Sometimes I've got to let go of having one of my clients had her hair professionally done, spent about $800 a month. And when she started out, she wasn't doing real well. So she let go of that, did the Lady Clairol thing at home, worked just fine for her until she got back on her feet. Other people choose to let go of cable TV. Because I just did that recently, by the way. It was the best thing I ever did for my business, because it allowed me to not be absorbed for hours and hours and hours like you can do, and to keep focused. So what do you let go of for all this to work? And by the way, don't censor yourself here. If you're like, well, I know I should let go of my best friend because she's a negative Nelly, and man, she always naysays everything. Don't censor yourself. Just write it down. And I want to bring to you here at this point that this is all about your aligned pricing paradigm. This is your thing. It does not have to line up with any guru you've ever heard speak about this kind of thing. It doesn't have to line up with anything I've just said. These are just examples I'm giving you. It doesn't have to line up with the way Patricia does business, or Sasha, or myself, or anybody else you see on, giving advice. This is your thing. Make it what works for you. And that's the why I love this work so much, is it's so highly customized to how your innards and the way that you work uniquely needs to happen. Two more. You ready, guys? Two more areas to go in. So let's take a big breath.
Well, I'm ready.
Yeah. We're going to take a big breath. And in and out. I like doing this at various intervals throughout a process because we can kind of get like a little excited about things. So let's do that one more time. In and out. Okay. The next step is environment. Environment. And this is not necessarily the environment outside the door. This is your personal environment. And when you're ready to do this, go ahead and 1, 2, 3 step the environment and look around you where you work, your office. If that's a corner of your house, if that's a room that you actually physically have, if you're in an office space, if you rent an office space, or you're still in a corporate job, for instance, and you're in that space, wherever you do your work, how does that reflect the fees that you've set that are completely aligned and perfect for you? So the sentence starter is my environment reflects my fees by, and I'll give you a couple of mine. My environment reflects my fees by being free. And I used to have a lot of tchotchkes on my desk, little, stuffed animals and little, puzzles and a whole bunch of different things that were fun to play with. And at a certain point in my business career, I had been given by various different, trainings I'd taken or colleagues or what have you. And at a certain point, I decided all of that stuff was going to the Salvation Army. And I just put it all in a bag and took it away. And I realized something after that. Energy gets stuck in clutter. When I cleaned my desk, and I have a beautiful view outside to a palm tree, I could actually see that palm tree much more clearly. Not that the clutter hid it, but just the kind of like smog sitting on your desk. Just kind of, I wasn't looking out the window. I was stuck with my attention on the desk and on how messy it was, and I didn't like it. Place for me to create. So something like that. And I always like to have a living plant. So my desk, actually not on my desk, but on my filing cabinet, there is a beautiful living plant that trails down the side. It has, actually it's an ivy, and the ivy goes down the side, and it's beautiful. And something green in your environment, very healing. So we have one more last piece of this. And now this is after you've gotten all of this information together and you are really ready to put that fee out there, to use it in your marketing statements. If you have an online store or a place where your fee is stated on your website, or you're producing a flyer to take with you when you speak, or to promote your product. We're going to take one last step. 1, 2, 3, and go into your marketing. And this is to share your revelation with one other person. And the thing to ask is, the steps I take with my marketing materials to validate the fees I'm asking for is this. You want to practice that, like I said before, like you're saying, pass the salt. My fee is this. And it's like no big deal. Other steps you're taking with your marketing materials are these. Maybe you're upgrading the type of paper your cards are printed on or your brochure is printed on. Perhaps you are upgrading your website from how it looked 10 years ago and it's stuck there back in 2005 and you're upgrading it. We recently did that with mine, and I'll tell you, it's been the difference in night and day in clients perceiving the value of the services. Now, I want you to take one final step that's not in this slide deck, but this is the step into the you that you can see as the powerful, completely aligned business owner, services to benefit your unique tribe that loves you to pieces and eagerly you have to sell them because they know how very benefited they're going to be. They know exactly what they're going to get out of it. Confidence and faith in that, enough to pay you what you are worth. Take one final step now into that complete woman that is going to go out, kick ass, and change the world. Step into that spot of this new, amazing, and empowered you, and enjoy feeling arrived into your aligned pricing paradigm. Now, go ahead and turn back around. Remember, we were taking steps forward on a line. Look back at your marketing that validates your fees, the environment that validates your fees, at the boundaries and letting go what you let go of that supported you, and the actions that also support you. Look at the things that you are now free to do, be, and have, fully valuing how much you charge and believing with every fiber of your being and every beat of your heart that you're worth it because of your connection to spirit. And this is true. And this is true. And this is true. Just enjoy that feeling, letting it filter down, knowing that you can go back at any time and walk these steps again if you didn't get it. You want to mine even more depth out of these steps. Now, you can get these slides and more by going to the URL marya.ms/inner biz. That's capital INNER, capital BIZ, inner biz. Plus, you'll get info on my Align and Ascend program, a business, tribe, and brand development for women changing the world, if that's of interest to you. And I want to go back up very, very briefly to a slide we had that I skipped. And one of the pieces and parts of this, it's kind of out of alignment, so I skipped it to go forward into the meditation, but all the times that you have had trauma around money, around any fear, anger, sadness, or trauma, somebody said something bad to you, somebody said something bad to your parents about money, you got kicked out because you couldn't afford the rent, that kind of thing. Having it, not having it, losing it, write them all down, and then use your favorite method to take the sting out of the memory. You will still remember what happened, it just won't mess you up anymore, because that is what lies inside you and sabotages you. Sabotages you. And then I said you can use tapping, NLP, my own ethos method, which you're going to get if you sign up at that link down below. And I'm going to go there again, right? Oops.
There we are. And there you are.
Right there. Now, can you see me or can you see the slides?
Yeah, we are seeing you now.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Chrome. Yay, here I am. Hi.
There you go. Hello.
So,
And Sasha, just to check in with you, are there any questions that are coming in on the chat lines at the moment?
Let me just check. It doesn't look like we've had many, but we've had a whole ton of retweets, actually. And we've had over 100 visitors during our session here. So definitely some good click-throughs, good things going on. And I thought that was absolutely wonderful.
awesome. Awesome.
Good, Sasha. Maybe it will make you think of going through the actions, because we've talked about this. When I first built their website, I thought her prices were way too low for the talent that she brings to the position. So we've had to talk about that in the distant past.
It's so common too. It's a woman thing. We devalue ourselves. If you notice, there's a man and a woman selling exactly the same thing. The man is going to go, yeah, this is so worth because of this, and this. And the woman's going, yeah, I'm charging this much, but hey, don't freak out, because it's really, you're going to get good stuff out of this, and I'm going to put this bonus and that bonus on there, and it's totally disproportionate. So we as women really have to come back to owning our true value, and that's why I wanted to give you this exercise to help you do that.
And it was an awesome exercise. I really do think that it was awesome. And that it took us through those different, and I believe that with that exercise that we didn't do, that we skipped over, was actually a very important exercise to do, because getting rid of those tangled emotions that have to do about the beliefs that we have about money. And let's face it, we all grow up with different thoughts about money. I mean, I often, with my clients, talk about that idea of filthy rich.
Yeah.
And how we get into this idea that there's something wrong with making money, and that can hold us back in a lot of ways. So I know that we've talked about that with my clients in my office in the past. And so, yes, this is a very important, especially, and it's not just for people who have been through difficult relationships or trying times. Everybody, to some extent, struggles with the money mindset. It's not restricted to those who have been through trauma or have, been through tough times. It is a really common problem. So, I mean, again, not diving into the shame of it, so to speak, to not be ashamed of not.
The other thing is, there's a lot of, depending on what kind of spiritual or religious background you have, a lot of people grew up feeling that having money was sinful. And if I get rich, then I am close to or actually being sinful. So there's some religious training debunking our parents meant us the best, and our religious teachers meant the best for us, but it doesn't have to. I know you can do sinful things with money if you want to, but it doesn't have to be that way, and you have more control of how you spend your money. So a good portion of one of the teachings that I leave all of my clients with is, how are you going to give back? So we have a piece of that last module of how are you going to bring it all together, and then where's going to be your give back? Where's going to be your charity? And
absolutely.
Giving back keeps the money rolling in. When you, first of all, you don't hoard it, you don't keep it and sit it in a vault somewhere. If money is not fluid, that's one of the things about money. If money isn't fluid, it's not coming in. We'll get it in until we stop it and store it away. We chip it away in a savings account, which there's nothing wrong with that. But keep some flowing out. You need to keep some flowing out. I just like to give people a really good place to do that even if you only have $10 to give to charity, Kiva.org, Kiva.org, does microfinance loans for people in developing countries, well, people in America too, and Canada, all over the world, but mostly in developing countries where they're like, we need to buy a cow so we can eat, and, we can make milk, make cheese with the milk and sell that, and that will be our family's livelihood. So you can contribute to buying that cow. You don't have to buy the whole cow, but you can contribute $10 to the cow. And that's I keep money in Kiva as a rolling donation. I never take it out, and I keep adding to the amount, and I could take it out if I wanted to, but I like just kind of, adding to it and keeping the love going.
Absolutely. And of course, around here, we do, we absolutely do believe in that social enterprise and giving back, because of course, the whole idea behind the Freebird Project shop is that the profits will go towards helping health survivors to heal. And we have the Escape and Establishment Fund idea, which comes in part through the Kiva model. It's going to be a little different than that, but it is in many ways similar. And I think that this is a new paradigm for business as we enter into an age where we really do have to take care of each other. But it does not at the expense of ourselves. I mean, I think that is one of the huge problems that we get into in the nonprofit and the charity organizations, is that we give so much that it's almost a martyr type thing. We give till it hurts, and it really shouldn't necessarily have to hurt.
Doesn't have to hurt. The other thing is, there's a paradigm in the coaching industry that we've taken from the airline industry, is like, put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on your child. Otherwise, you won't be there to care for that child in case of an emergency. So we need to fill our own well first, and always, and never feel guilty about that. That's something else we grew up feeling guilty and shameful about, is, well, I'm doing self-care. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing something for my kids or my family. No, self-care is absolutely paramount. That time you give to yourself, and we call it sacred self-care. My last book was Everyday Bliss for Busy Women, and it focused completely on how to use these energy therapies, like I was talking about, to care for yourself really, really deeply, without actually spending a lot of money, but spending time. And you're worth it.
Absolutely. And it really is time that is so important in the self-care. And we are so lucky with the Free to Fly conference that we do have several speakers coming up over the next couple of weeks on self-love and self-care. We have a speaker who's going to be speaking specifically to busy women on how to find the time for self-care. Because of course it does take time, and it takes, and you need to make it a habit. It can't be something that you leave to chance, because chances are everybody is going to nibble away at your time until there's nothing left if you don't protect it. And again, that goes back to one of the slides there with boundaries. And boundaries is such an important lesson for women in general and survivors specifically to learn, is that having boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
Absolutely.
I'd like to recommend a couple of books on boundaries. May I?
Absolutely.
There's a book by Anne Catherine that is just sort of the authority on the subject, and it's called Boundaries, Where You End and I Begin. And it's how to know your boundaries. But I'll give you another quicker tool than that. Remember the hand on the heart and the hand on the stomach? If you have you don't have to necessarily put your hands there, but if you're with someone and you start feeling your stomach do that, not feeling happy, and your heart is feeling like a piece of lead in your chest, they have just violated your boundaries. That's a way to know. And they violated, probably if both of those areas are not happy, not a boundary that you have just personally and nobody else has, but that's like a societal boundary. Like, no, you don't touch a woman's breast. That is not done. And that's a society-wide boundary. But you might also have a don't touch me on my arm, because I have issues with, shoulder issues or what have you. That would be a personal, in additional to that boundary. But if you're getting violated on societal boundaries, that's a person you probably don't need to be with. Just saying. Heart and stomach, go there.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us with this great information. And as you said, they can access the slides and work through that again, because this really is one of those exercises that you don't do just once. You'll have to.
I'm sorry. When they sign up, there is what you're going to get is my ethos method. And it's guaranteed to definitely take a big bite out of your inner mindset, help you with those inner mindset issues. That's kind of why I wanted to show it last, so you know that that's what it does. And also, you're going to get the slides. I'm going to be sending that a little later when we are a little more through the telesummit. I couldn't figure out a way to hook them onto that particular email, but I will by the time this is over, probably in the next couple of days. So you will get them, don't worry.
And what we can also do is have you connect with me, and we can send it out to the list of the people who signed up for the seminar, so that anybody who signed up for the seminar, and they can continue to sign on to that list even if they're watching it, a month or two from now, if they sign up to your individual list on that page, then we can connect those slides to that email list. Excellent. And it'll be all taken care of.
Yay.
Easy. And Sasha, did you have anything to add before we sign off for the night? Because we do have to get ready for our next presenter. Jessica will be coming up in just under half an hour now, and she'll be talking about the gift of imperfect. So before we load to that, do you have anything to add, Sasha?
I just want to say thank you so much for joining us, Maryam, and thank you to all of our wonderful viewers. It's been fantastic all day here, going through some great topics, and this one definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. Guys, make sure that you follow along with us. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, and we'd love to hear from you during our live interactions as well as after the fact. So thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
And we'll sign off for now. We will be back in about 20 minutes with Jessica, and she will be talking, as I said, about the gift of imperfect. And I think that one is going to be another fabulous. We're on day 3 of the Free to Fly online conference and fashion show, and having so much fun, and we hope you are too. Invite your friends, invite your neighbors, and let's have some modern hippie mama fun. We'll talk to you next time.